Hi, my name is Pat Nelson. I'm a Master Gardener with the Hill City Master Gardener Association in Lynchburg, Virginia. We are here at DePaul Resources in Madison Heights, and we have a garden here that we've put together for these participants here who come out and learn how to garden with us. A Master Gardener is a person who's gone through the Master Gardener Training Program, which is held at CVCC in Lynchburg. It starts in early February and runs through late April. There's graduation, and after that you have to work on projects to earn your 50 hours, and you do that every year to hold your status. And we go around to different projects in the city and surrounding areas and teach people how to garden. That is our main goal, is education. This garden here at DePaul was started approximately 5 years ago, and when we first started it, it was nothing but a red clay area that was turned over. Every year we have added cut up leaves, grass, and put it on here, and some green sand to improve the soil. It was hard red clay, and now you can pick it up in your hands and crumble it. That's called friable. That's very good for growing plants. The best time to put the leaves, grass clippings, and wood mulch down is in the fall so that it can decompose over the winter and put nutrients in your soil. But if you did not have the opportunity to do it, you can do it any time of the year. You can start your own compost pile with kitchen scraps, but do not put dairy, meat, or fats in it, because that puts no nutrition in the soil and it draws unwanted critters. If you put it down in the fall, then you can turn it over and till it and put it into the soil, and by spring you'll have this really nice friable soil. Another thing you can do is put newspaper down or cardboard boxes, lay them flat, put them down, and then get some wood chips and put it on top of that. That will break down over the season. It will also keep the weeds down and the moisture in. The most important thing in planting a garden is to put it in a spot where you get a minimum of 6 hours of sun per day. This is a case where more is better. And even if you don't have a plot of ground to grow your garden in, you can always grow them in pots. I've planted tomatoes, zucchini, lettuce, herbs in pots, and they grow just as well. They just take a lot more water. But you can grow almost anything in pots. Okay, you can start your plants in two different ways. One is to buy the seed and plant them. Some you can plant in the soil at this time of year when the soil is warm enough. Others you can start indoors in February or March. But they do need some grow lights over top so that they're not leaning towards the window and getting long and lanky. The advantages are up to you and however you want to do it. If you don't have the room to do it inside, then you can start it from seed outside. You can start some crops in March. Those are what we call cool weather crops, like broccoli, cabbage, lettuce, carrots, peas. They do not like real hot weather, so they grow well when your pansies are growing. You can put those in the ground in February or March, depending on the weather. Other things like beans and tomatoes, I would not set out until the soil is at least 65 degrees, because they need a lot of sun and warmth. They won't grow if you put them in the ground any sooner than that. As far as watering goes in your garden, you can't really rely on Mother Nature. She might give you too much water, she might not give you enough water, but plants like to have enough water so they can grow and produce. In this garden, what we've done is put soaker hoses around the various rows of plants. And the white piping over there is going to be part of our automated watering system. And it's got an automated timer that we can set for it to go on and go off according to however we wish. These plants right here are peas. And as you can see, they've got blossoms on them, and there are some peas already started. These here are hills of potatoes. You plant them approximately every 9 inches apart, then you hill the ground up around them. So when you go to dig them up, they're easier to find. And we've got 4 more rows over there. This here is where our climbing spinach is going to grow up. As you can see, there's a million volunteers on the ground already coming up. As far as container gardening goes, we have a bunch of herbs in these what are called raised beds. It's because the gardening area is a little raised off the ground a little bit. And as you see, I can sit here and I can pick whatever I want without having to bend over. It's easier on the knees, back, and hips. In the first little green pot there, we have a strawberry plant in there. And you can get a bunch of strawberries from there. In the first raised bed there, we have some lettuces. In this second green pot here, we have sage, another herb. And along here we have cilantro, basil. These have cilantro. So you can plant all kinds of herbs in raised beds like this. You just nail some 2x8s or 10s, whatever you like. Put a little piece in the middle and on the ends to hold it together. Add your soil and plant away. Here's another way you can garden. We bought some straw bales, and make sure they're straw bales because hay bales have seed heads on it and they'll start growing. But we took straw bales, turned it on its side, watered it one day, fertilized and watered the next, and we did that for 2 weeks. The water goes into the straw bales and starts slowly decomposing, and the fertilizer is there for nutrients for the plants. Then you can either buy bags of garden soil or potting soil and put it about 2 inches thick on top of all the straw bales, and then you can either put transplants in or you can plant seeds. But you may have to make sure that you water it because since it is so thin, it dries out quickly. Another way you can do composting if you don't want to see a pile of stuff laying in your yard is to buy one of these compost bins. This lid comes off. You put your stuff in there that you want to compost. You add a little water, let it sit for a while, and then you can add more, water more, and then you can roll it to turn it to help it decompose faster. And since it's in a black container, it gets hot in there, which helps it decompose quicker than if it were laying on the ground. Thank you for watching this segment on gardening. If you're more interested in gardening or want to become a master gardener, please contact the Hill City Master Gardener Association or our agent, Kevin Camm, at the VCE office here in Lynchburg.